I feel like it's missing something. Not sure what though. I wonder if that Cubby guy's still around. Let's try giving him a call. Hey Cubby, are you there? Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Again.
Hey. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just calling you in a row now. I just wanted to reach out because I'm working on a resume right now for a player who applied. Looks pretty promising, but I'm just having trouble with some of the details. Could you help me out with this?
Which player?
His name is Prismal. Jacob Prismal Feinstein.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with Prismal, but I might need some help with this one. Is it okay if I call a friend as well?
Yeah, sure. Who you got in mind?
Mark, Rafa, Alexander Armbide? Familiar?
Rafa. Yeah, I think I've spoken with him before.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if you think that he'd be great for this too. Yeah. All right. So here, let me show you what I'm working with for the resume so far. So this is what I got. Really, what I need from you is just help me with some of the details. You know, this is what I got from him on the phone, but his application didn't include a resume, so I'm trying to build this up for him. You know, make him look a little better before I start shipping him out. So, I want to start with the time on 100 Thieves Academy. Looks like he was on that team. What can you tell me about his time on 100 Thieves?
Oh wow. Okay, we're going way back here. Well, of course, Prismal on 100 Thieves Academy did secure that first place playoff summer final, and also was the MVP of that series. As 100 Thieves Academy did successfully win in 19 of summer. So maybe that could be added onto the resume. Ralph, what else do you got?
What are we doing?
We're doing some resume building.
Resume building.
Yeah, we've got Jacob
I love this.
Prismal Feinstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on. I got you. We're talking about Prismal?
100 Thieves Academy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Okay.
So I have it listed December 2018 to November 2020 on 100 Thieves. Some of the highlights of this: first career pentakill. Do you have any memory of this? What's the story of Prismal back when he was on 100 Thieves?
Well, I'll be honest. I did not witness his first career pentakill, but I know that he was very hyped in that 100 Thieves Academy roster, and I'm pretty sure that that was one of his career-defining moments, as heading into the next year, that put him back on the map to make sure that he stayed in the Academy.
And now, Cubby, I also have listed a summer 2019 finals MVP for 100 Thieves as well off of this performance. So would you just overall it seems like a success from his time on the Thieves, right?
I think that Prismal, really started to make a name for himself, and Prismal has always been a player that we are kind of debating, like whether or not like he should be in Academy or LCS. I don't think a split has gone by since then where people haven't made the claim that, hey, Prismal is an LCS caliber player. Why isn't he in the LCS? And so I think that it really started with his championship win there and some of his good play. And that continued last year as he transitioned into Golden Guardians Academy. And I know that they didn't have the best regular season starts. They had roster changes from spring to summer. But Prismal and Golden Guardians Academy, when Proving Grounds came around, they were ready to go.
And this is, I believe, a look at his second official career pentakill there. Now, he had 3 in total.
I cast that one.
Oh, interesting. That's good. Yeah. So you're a little bit of a subject matter expert then. So from the time of Golden Guardians, am I missing anything here, guys? Like, what can I do to spice up this resume a little bit? I got 3rd place Proving Grounds finish.
Can we get it bigger?
2 professional pentakills.
The 100% Wukong win rate that's a good one. Now
that's pretty based, actually.
It's also misspelled, but we'll fix that.
I will say that Golden Guardians Academy, so I mentioned that they weren't great in the regular season. I think they had a 7th place finish in Academy Summer. So that means they didn't even make Academy playoffs. But that didn't stop them from making top 3 in Proving Grounds. So, resumes, we always like to see action statements, some improvement. It's a way that Prismal and his team kind of improved and scaled into the summer and the season.
Okay, all right. So you're thinking here I can change this for improved.
Yes.
From 7th place regular season finish to 3rd place Proving Grounds finish. Okay, I like that. That's fantastic.
It's 2 lines, so we might need to shrink the rest of the font so it looks good. But we'll take care of that later.
Oh yeah. And I'll fix this up in a bit.
And the really cool thing about that too, Steve, is that the fact they're going from 7th place regular season finish between 10 teams to third place Proving Grounds overall finish, where there is more teams being added into the pool of potential lineups. They are basically eclipsing all of the best teams from both the side of amateur and academy by ending up in third.
Okay.
So
Not getting your ass
Sure.
kicked by amateur is something that is important, and some of the academy teams have struggled with historically.
All right, interesting. Now let's catch up to present. He's on CLG Academy now. That's what I have listed, at least from end of last
That's
year
good.
to this current
That's
season.
good.
Now, are they still currently first place in the season? Has anything
Let me
changed?
check the standings. Yes.
Okay. Is 12-4 correct? Do I need to change this
I
at
think
all?
it's a 13-4 now.
13-4.
13-4, even better. Still rocking 100% Varus win rate?
Yeah.
In 5 games.
5
in
games
fact.
now.
Okay, look at that. We're updating things. That's perfect. And then I'll have to maybe check the KDA once we have some more accurate stats on that
hold
one.
on. So something that I think we should
Okay.
list under skills, something that Prismal actually brings to the table, very unique to him and his role in marksman. Bit of shot calling, and specifically
Ooh.
Baron shot calling. Big fan of the Barons, as he, of course, called the two-man Baron that we saw earlier that Rafa was referencing at the end of our last game. And then also, I think under skills, leaf blower enthusiast.
Leaf blower.
Yes.
I don't understand
It's a very important
the
game.
reference.
It's a game where you blow leaves, and Prismal is elite at it.
Okay,
He
sure.
is elite.
So we have, and okay, I don't understand what that means, but I can roll with it. Is there anything else in particular that we're missing, or do we think that this is good to ship off? Because I got a lot of teams that are interested in getting some players, and I'd love to put Prismal out on the
We
Maybe
don't have to
get
do.
a headshot in there. You know?
Yeah, I would definitely like a headshot as well. You got to show.
No. Last time I tried to do that, it did not work out
I'm
well,
saying
so
like
we're gonna avoid
before
that.
you send this off, and
okay.
when you're done with the call, definitely get his headshot on there, because I think it's important to put the face to the man behind all the skills, right?
All right. I like it. Well, I'll send this over to Prismal then, and hopefully, as long as he approves of it, I can start shipping this out to anybody who's interested in looking for a bot laner here. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the time. I didn't take too much of your time, right? You're not busy right now?
No, I'm sorry I wasn't here for the beginning of it. Hopefully I didn't miss out on too much.
Not at all. But I do, want to be mindful of your time, so I'll give it back to the two of you. I think that we're getting ready for pick and ban here any second.
Wait,
so,
how do you know that?
guys, take it away.
Wait, how does he know that?
Anyway, all right. Well,
Wait, have you noticed that Kangas has left again?
all right. Well, we can just kill off this joke while we keep on going. We can get back in this game. I know that CLG versus EG going into game 2. It was a hectic game 1, Rafa, and for game 2, I think something we have to look out for on the horizon. Of course, EG started our day in the soup, the 8-8 mosh pit, now 8-9, and it wouldn't be EG if we didn't bring up the patented 1-1s.
You know what? Before we get into that, can we rebrand the soup into the melting pot? Because it really then embraces our culture identity as NA, right? Because we've got multiple different types of play styles that are all in there as well. You've got Cloud9 Academy, you have Immortals Academy.
There's like 6 inches of snow down outside my window, and I can't stop thinking about soup. So that's going to be a hard sell for me.
All right, whatever. My attempt to rebrand failed. But for Evil Geniuses, they will be taking red side once again as CLG return to the blue side. Any draft changes you would like to see from either team going into this next game?
I think potentially maybe we can get Kangas to help walk us through this.
Good
as
idea.
Well. I think potentially we could see EG maybe take away some more of those early tools or find things to combat it. But I think EG had ways to win that game. They just did. It was more on execution. But maybe the full court press from CLG is a little bit too much to deal with. Kangas, what do you think?
Personally, this is my opinion, and also a little bit speaking with some folks in the back end there. Felt like occasionally Evil Genius Academy were overreaching a little much, trying to go for plays across the map. Surdy in particular getting aggressive early in the game against the Renekton and getting punished for that a couple of times while his bot lane was popping off. So if I'm looking at Evil Genius's performance, I'd say maybe just cool the jets. Know when to press forward and know when to play weak side and just let the rest of the team kind of get those advantages for you. Also, I caught that a little bit there with the with I believe his name was Steve. Kind of ironic
recruiter.
that we're talking about Prismal in the bottom lane. Yeah, Steve the recruiter talking about Prismal in the bottom lane when Cowrie definitely got the better of that matchup.
Somewhat, but also Prismal was heavily attacked by the side of EG. Also, I think something else that we might have missed on the resume, of course, Prismal used to be coached by our executive producer, which Kelsey Moser, and we contractually have to mention that whenever we can. So yeah, I got to follow up on our fulfillments here, Rafa. We missed that one.
Well, see, I feel like there's probably a split from her internal bias because Prismal, previous player, Breezy as well, but then also on the opposite side, Evil Geniuses, the team used to work for as well. So I feel like even split.
All right, even split
right there.
Net neutral.
Yeah, Kelsey's internal dialogue aside here, I do want to think about next game and what the future will hold for that because CLG Academy so far are holding on to that spot. We highlighted the top lane matchup going into the series, and I want to touch back on that one because it still feels like it can swing either way. Dokla had a really strong early performance, got a little bit of a CS lead, but Surdy held on. I mean, even though he was getting punished. So that's where I want to bring our attention back to next, as I am hearing the pick and ban is finally ready, so we can send it back over to Rafa and Cubby to take us away for pick and ban of game number 2.
It's a good question, Kingus, because the premise now leads to what can Evil Geniuses do to give Surdy a more advantageous laning phase or just overall experience in this second half, because as we pointed out before, a lot of the game-changing moments for Evil Geniuses come from Surdy being able to push them over that finish line that we talked about at the beginning of this series, highlighting it during the pre-show. Cowrie still performing well consistently on these backline 80 carries and marksmen, but Surdy usually has to be the one that really makes or breaks it for them. And Dokla, despite being in a matchup where he could get outscaled by the Jacks, still prevailing and being a huge dominating threat.
And as we return to pick ban, I think the one thing that might have caught EG off guard was that first pick Gwen. It's not something that CLG has done before. And I did like the response with the Graves and having that kind of match the flex. I think that's something that is unique to EG, given Tomio being their jungler. I know that Tomio did have a bit of a blunder at that first crab, but was able to recover nicely with those bot dives that worked out very well for the side of EG. And I would not be surprised we see the same response with the Graves here again. And of course, Aphelios, the only lethal tempo marksman that's left up. Cowrie actually has only played Jinx, Aphelios, and Jhin. And so I was expecting to see that, but this is a big pivot as we're going to see a fourth champion from Cowrie, and it's going to be a blind Ziggs.
When was the last time we saw this champion, Cubby? Last summer?
I don't know. And they're playing into the Prismal, who, of course, on that resume, best Ziggs NA, self-declared. Something that also Prismal, on Gromp, no crab bit, thought that Ziggs is actually a very difficult champion to play because of the satchel charge combos. And we're going to have to see if Cowrie can play it successfully into Prismal himself, who will have the choice of counterpick. And I'm curious how aggressive Prismal gets, as, of course, the Ahri being locked in for Triple. As Triple now 5 games of Ahri in his first week, 5 out of the 6. Been pretty good at the champ, and now let's see what Prismal responds with. So I'm very curious. Could see an Ezreal, could see a Kai'Sa, would heavily index into magic damage, and instead might just be Breezy picking up that support. Could be the Rakan.
What I'm looking for from Evil Geniuses now, when you lock in Ziggs historically as your bot laner, you're usually setting up for your entire top side to be physical damage, or at least a majority of it to be physical damage. Because you want Ziggs to be that sole AP threat, so that you're really forcing the enemy to pick between, okay, do we itemize against the Ziggs, or do we itemize against the rest of the physical damage that's coming through from their composition? And it might open up some either strong AD picks. We already saw the Graves flexed before between Tomio and Surdy. Might come through again, obviously, either for the jungler. But I'm wondering if Soligo brings back a strong fighter mid. I don't know what the matchups are like right now for Ahri, since her rework has given her some new life. And obviously that does cause an issue for some mid laners as they're struggling to figure out which are good picks into that champion again.
I am confident we're going to see Ryze taken off the table, as with that Empowered Rune Prison pre-6, you can set up pretty well against Ahri, and I think that Rise would actually be all right here for Celigo, as it would be more magic damage, but you can also go for that tank Rise build, where you can kind of withstand the upfront damage from an Ahri and a Gwen and try and find those empowered rune prisons on the right targets. And I think another thing, I want to see if SkyTech can step up this game. Has the Leona and the Rakan. I think SkyTech has had a tough super week, and if he's able to, not get picked off as much, and try and play a little bit more with his team, I think that could be one of the big differences that EG is looking to make as they try and make this series a 1-1. But see if the Rise gets taken away here, as it looking like a no ban for EG. We'll ask production if that is a no ban or if it is supposed to be something else, but CLG is still sticking to the bans from last time. It is both the Jace and the Tryndamere taken off the table. We could see the Rise for Celigo, as we are expecting the mid lane counter to maintain that Graves flex.
Oh. Whoa. Well, that's not what I was expecting.
They want the Camille. So I think this is kind of EG throwing down the gauntlet, as now they have a Galio ult plus a Ziggs ult. So if you don't have Flash, you're doomed. And if you combine both of these with a Camille ult, which is Surdy's best champion, by the way, that's where things can get really hairy for the side of CLG. So a very different look now coming out of EG. And with this full dive, it looks like Rosethorn is opting for that Viego, which does put the Gwen in the top lane. And I am getting word that it is a no ban from EG as well. Just to update viewers on that one. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow. Covey, I love this. We are seeing
very different.
So many different champions and return of champions that we haven't seen in quite some time. And you called it, Camille coming in. I was curious to see if I mean my curiosity was telling me, what if CLG just take the Camille away? Like what was stopping them? If
potentially, but then you're playing a Camille into like Graves, Galio, Ziggs, which feels terrible. So CLG looking to utilize the Gwen to stay immune from that long-range damage from the Ziggs, and then the Viego, where they have a double assassin combo with the mid jungle, so if they can get that first kill in the fight, CLG can snowball from there. And Prismal and the Tristana will have a lane where Ziggs will shove in Prismal, but if you get farmed, Tristana is one of the safest marksmen that you can take in the game. And having that ultimate against Camille, if you're able to knock Camille out of the Hextech ultimatum, you do get freed from that prison. So we're going to have to see if EG can execute this Camille-Galio combo. It's something that we've been seeing a bit in the LPL, as I think they've been the team that's playing it most, specifically Thunder Talk, a team that our executive producer is also very excited about. A lot of Galio Camille. And we're going to have to see if EG has been taking some notes and can execute this well, because the onus is on them to make plays.
You know, funny thing about Thunder Talk is I don't know what their history in League of Legends was like, but they just they went to finals for Wild Rift International Tournament last November. And I feel like that was the first big thing that org was a part of, at least for esports. But I could be wrong on the LPL side. Mobile gamers, baby. And but for Evil Geniuses, Celigo returning once again to a facilitator in Galio. This isn't a champion that you necessarily put out a ton of damage with. We're not on the dreaded cursed Galio patch where his Winds of War were just 100-0ing people. Those were some dark days.
Those were very dark times.
But he is on a champion that will follow up on engages made by Surdy's Hextech Ultimatum, or even SkyTech going in with the Zenith Blade onto a Solar Flare target. The rest of CLG have to keep their wits about them, because yes, they're on mobile champions, but it doesn't matter how mobile you are if you have Flash, because you cannot escape Hextech Ultimatum.
And this comp from EG, I do like seeing this from them, because it just tells me they're starting to have a lot more confidence. And I think a lot of this is coming from Surdy, because this is Surdy's Camille. And I know this is Surdy's first split academy, but for fans not familiar, Surdy's been a player that has hit Challenger rank 1 on the Oceanic server before he came to NA. High Challenger player in NA. Has also done well on the Korean ladder when he spent time over there. And his best champ throughout all those tours and different solo queue ladders, it was always the Camille. This guy is a crazy good Camille player, dominated amateur whenever he got this champion, and it's his first time busting it out on the Academy stage. So really want to see if he can cash in. Or at least I should say, not his first time. I lied. He's 2-0 on this champion so far, and it's a good matchup for Camille as well. So I want to see if Surdy can make a 3-0, because this comp is built around him and his Camille.
Surdy putting the 100% win rate record of this Camille on the line against Dokla. As we said it before at the pre-match, our focus was on this top lane between Dokla and Surdy. Once again, a volatile lane matchup, not the Renekton and Jax, but this time it's the Gwen and Camille. Dokla prevailed in game 1 with a very, very impressive Renekton performance. He's going to look to do similar things on this Gwen as Surdy. They are fighting back and forth, and if I'm the jungler for either team, I want to get to the top side as fast as possible right now.
And guess what? Both junglers have set up for exactly that, Rafa. As Surdy, unfortunately, a canceled auto, not getting the grass proc, has put him a little bit behind in level 1 for this matchup, but it is one that Camille scales into nicely, as if you are able to trade out on the grasp with those hook shots, it is a nice trading pattern for Camille, where you can very much dodge out on the Q damage from Dokla and the Gwen, and try and get some positive short trades with Gwen from there, but instead, Saligo, he's dead.
Oh, damn! Now, Rosethorn, wow. I was very positive that Rosethorn was going to invest his time towards the top side of the map, but after full clearing bottom side, jungle loops around, catches Saligo out a little too far forward, nets first blood.
Now Rosethorn using that to go directly into Tomio, who did pick up that red. Now we have some heavy trading coming out, and I think the fact that he sees Tomio, this means that the top dive will not come through, but it does mean that Rosethorn could set up for a double crab, and he is continuing the pressure as he smites away the big crab from Tomio.
Oh, goodness.
Now he's going to pressure Surdy.
Saligo is making his way towards the top side of the map. It'll take a while for him to get there. Triple saying, hey, my mid laner's gone.
Spotted.
I gotta teleport back to lane first before I can join. So Rosethorn will call off the dive, but already the overwhelming pressure through CLG's side is now, because everyone showed on the top side of the map, Evil Geniuses and CLG were ready to throw it down in the river, but no one commits to an all-in.
And you can see Prismal and CLG picked up that bot crab on their own. So both crabs going over to CLG, another nice early game setup from them. Already nat 1 kill over to Saligo, where it was 2 flashes burned by the mid-jungle duo, but still very well played on CLG's end to net themselves that early lead in this one.
Things have now cooled down after a couple of explosive moments in the first 4 minutes of the game. So far, in terms of summoner spells, it was both sums from triple burned, whereas Saligo only used the teleport to get back to lane. Dokla and Surdy had to burn teleport to catch this wave, whereas Dokla is now going to be on a more advantageous buy with his teleport back.
And a lot of that comes from the level 1. Surdy was just not able to quite get the proper trade execution, not to mention his mid laner went down, so I had to seed some creeps when he was potentially getting threatened for a dive, and it's exactly what Dokla needs in this matchup. Get that itemization advantage to make sure that Camille can't hit you hard, because when Camille really wins this matchup hard, it's on the Sheen proc and the Divine Sunder finish. So if you are able to delay that for the Camille, that's when things start to get much, much better for the Gwen, and CLG has already been able to do that early in this game.
CLG Academy had spotted Tomio trying to sneak away some chicken nuggets real quick, but because Breezy was roaming with Rosethorn, Tomio can't stay to finish them off. Has to retreat back into the recluses of his own jungle. I want to talk about the first 2 objectives of the game. Rift Herald obviously not spawning for another 3 minutes, but the first dragon is available. And so far, CLG Academy have been winning out on the push war. Okay, thank God.
It's a tough lane state, though, for the Camille. As you can see, Dokla has the HP advantage, and has frozen it onto Surdy. And you can see Tomio now skipping over his Raptors, has to get up to this wave, because Dokla is going to hit 6 soon, and they need to make sure that soul laners are being protected, whereas Saligo...
Well, that's triple Spirit Rush down. I mean, Saligo, whether he was trying to secure priority for the crab for Tomio or lean towards Surdy on the top side of the map and use Hero's Entrance, not sure. Rosethorn, though, secures the first dragon of the game on the bottom side. Dokla forced out the needlework onto Surdy, trying to make him retreat, but it looks like Surdy will be able to push in this wave and get it to crash.
It could be a dive as well, because now that the ult's down from Gwen, you can see Tomio rotating with Soligo. And keep in mind, with Surdy, this Hextech ultimatum, Gwen is only immune if you are not in range. Galio ult plus Camille ult, that's a good way to get in range of the Gwen. So you can see Dokla intelligently backing off this wave a little bit. It has enabled Surdy to stick around, and now Rosethorn going to check.
Rosethorn gets back in time, though, which is why Dokla steps back up in the first place. Tomio has to dash back over the wall. The dive will no longer happen, so Ligo recalling as well. First Dragon of the game, as we already talked about before, netted by CLG. Rift Herald spawning in a minute from now. Last time, we didn't see necessarily anyone from the bottom side of the map roam on up to secure priority for Rift Herald, but at this state, the way that top lane has really been pushing in Dokla's favor, I imagine that CLG should be favored in grabbing that push.
And you see now Rosethorn walking up to try and defend for this matchup as well. Going to force Surdy to hook shot out. Rosethorn will not follow up with the flash. Tomio is here to hover, but Surdy's very low health, and there's a big wave about to crash.
Dokla will get this in. No needlework available to finish off Surdy. Tomio waiting just to make sure if Dokla goes for the dive. Rosethorn, do they see Tomio here? They'll see Tomio now, so then they have to back off.
Breezy's
the crash
here,
will
though.
happen. Oh, wait, Breezy. Watch for the Hextech ultimatum, how it's used. Oh no, he interrupts Surdy on the hook shot, just not fast enough. Rosethorn cleans that one up. Soligo can't collapse because Triple is being a nuisance right now. Might be able to solo kill him as well. Soligo forced the flash over the wall, but it's right into the arms of Rosethorn, who comes over the wall with the Heartbreaker. And now he's Galio, and they have a numbers advantage to pick up this Rift Herald that just spawned.
And everything has fallen apart for EG as Surdy loses that humongous wave in the top side thanks to a beautiful roam from Breezy. Soligo's caught out on the rotation, and the defense of that play was navigated beautifully by CLG, is now Triple sticking around to try and get some points. And Surdy, he might be looking to respond. Soligo does have TP.
Hey, the Zenith Blade still connects despite the flash. Hextech ultimatum locks him down. Triple will go down, and Evil Geniuses are able to get something back despite losing out majorly on the top side and that Rift Herald. Rosethorn forced to pick up this wave, and Tomio saying, hey, if I see the jungler picking up the mid wave, I can get the wraparound, go for some clears on this camps. And now Rosethorn, is he actually in trouble? Surdy still doesn't have Hextech ultimatum. They're diving under the tower, but Breezy comes right back. The shutdown from Surdy nets the kill on the Rosethorn, but it's traded immediately back. Breezy able to pick one up thanks to his abilities to clean up fights. The rest of CLG still on the run as Evil Genius is trying to just push this advantage forward.
We did say that EG and Surdy never afraid to go in, never afraid to pull the trigger. Good example of that there, as Surdy will still lose out big on the top side, the fact that he did lose his life, but this is a comp where EG, they have to get the ball moving. They get outscaled in this one when you have Galio Camille, if you aren't able to continuously one-shot the big carries, and given how far ahead Rosethorn and Dokla are early, I think EG already really feeling the pressure and already really trying to push the tempo back in their favor. I like the roam initially from Surdy, but a bit of an overreach there onto Rosethorn. And Surdy, now very far behind still in this top lane matchup, despite the good work he put into that roam in the mid lane.
It's actually a miracle that they're still able to get the shutdown, because had he not gotten that play in addition to Triple, Surdy is just
That's pretty much
would
game.
be so far behind in gold because of how much time he spent in the mid lane. And CLG
He has
very
no
cognizant
ults.
of the fact that Surdy
Oh,
could be
no.
out of the game, and they just want to really put him in the dirt right now. They're going to wait on certain cooldowns. Tactical sweep already burned. No Hextech ultimatum available. Cutting
he
off
knows.
his exit routes. Hook shot is going to get interrupted. And unfortunately for Surdy, lights are out.
And it's a good read from CLG, because that's a wave that he was expecting Dokla to base on. So the fact they're greeting that wave, they get the kill. CLG continue to push this game more in their favor, and now have a nice top lane setup to get Dokla that first brick with Shelly. And this is a full commit to make sure the first tower falls for CLG. And this early game, we were teasing how good CLG's early games have been in the early season. It's why they're sitting at the top of our standings. While it didn't pan out in game one, it's been textbook from CLG in this game too.
Now, I actually want to ask you about something while we just witnessed this happen. Normally, I know there is a game in the past before where you commented on teams taking a tower too early, and in that particular instance, you weren't a fan of it because you thought, oh man, they're smashing this lane. They don't need to end laning phase. Let them continue dominating. Is this a play that you're more agreeable with?
I like the turret take in this game because Dragon's up for CLG, and CLG can try and push this into a bot dive if Surdy were to freeze on the top side. So Surdy is pushing out that top wave, so CLG will be able to collect those resources afterwards, but because they took that top lane tower, ton of tempo right now in CLG's pockets, they're going to utilize this to take the other neutral objective in the early game, which is the Dragon, and CLG continue to be off to the races.
Prismal getting some work down onto the bottom turret while he is showing alone. Breezy. Oh, do they go for this dive?
Oh, yeah.
They don't have quickness,
Goodbye.
but it's just a grand entrance, and Kaori is too damn squishy to survive under that tower by himself. CLG Academy, this is quite the contrast in the opener versus Evil Geniuses from their game 1.
And it's showing some diversity as well for CLG as Prismal. First game of the season on this Tristana. Rosethorn gets his Viego, something that he was his best champion last year, and a big part of the reason that Golden Guardians team with both Prismal and Rosethorn were able to take a top 3 finish in Proving Grounds for summer. And so I like seeing CLG, you know, when you are at the top of the standings, it's pretty easy to stick to your bread and butter and potentially let other teams catch up. It is still CLG sticking to their bread and butter of this powerful early game, but they're doing it in different sorts and flavors, and the fact that CLG are continuing to push themselves to be better as a team, to show more of the strats that they can execute, I really like seeing from them in the early season.
Evil Geniuses have bottom river control at the moment. Tribush denied by CLG in terms of vision. Surdy coming over the wall with the hook shot, has Hextech ultimatum available. Solar Flare not coming out from Skytech. They're just pushing CLG back as they fight for control of this side of the map, but there's no objective that they can really obtain from that control, so I imagine that Evil Genius is just trying to find a pick, trying to find a way to get it back in this game.
Well, that's one way as Skytech is caught. Triple is going to wait for the W to collapse. Now Soligo also in trouble.
Oh, Justice Punch dodged out by Breezy. Beautifully done. Another 2v1 died from Prismal and Breezy. This duo that comes back and
Tomio's
reunites.
in trouble too. Yeah.
Oh, no. Skytech. Oh, God. Tomio getting routed out. This is a bloodbath. Evil Geniuses, at least in game 1, we're making things very close. Dokla now in a 1v1. There's just too much action to cover. Our wonderful observer, Lauren, trying to catch everything that is happening. Surdy does actually win out on the 1v1 against Dokla, though.
So Dokla didn't have ult anymore. Surdy takes advantage of that with the Ignite, but I love seeing CLG push into the top side of EG and take those camps away from Tomio. That's what I wanted to see them do with that turret take. Make sure they're continuing to utilize that real estate, take more things away from EG. They do so successfully, walk out with a few champion kills in the process. We talked about CLG coming into this series, or averaging 2.6k gold to 15. They're now up 5.5k before the 15-minute mark as we get a replay of what happened across the map. Tomio can't be going for that red buff when Dokla not showing on the top wave. He ends up going down. We caught the other kills from Surdy onto Dokla, and then Rosethorn triple collapsing out of the mid lane as well. CLG continue to push this game in their favor and are now forcing EG to have some crazy responses as Dokla. Okay.
I love Hallowed Mist. Oh my goodness, and by love, I hate it. I hate this champion sometimes, Cubby. Playing against Gwen is the bane of my existence anytime I try to gank it as a jungler onto a top laner, and that is exactly why.
I'm immune to Gwen. I'm gonna turn it. You know what? Everyone thinks that, you know, Gwen is immune, it gives her power. You gotta take that away. Just say, I'm immune to Gwen. I'm not gonna let it, you know, get in my head.
Wow.
That's some big mental strength and fortitude being shown right there.
Is this how you got the Grandmasters on Braum?
No, Gwen didn't exist back then. It was great.
Oh, see, you know what? You dodged out on a bullet. You didn't have to deal with that, so...
No, now I just pick Jax into it. I win everything. It's easy. See, Rafa can't respond because I hard carried him the other day on this Jackson.
Oh my goodness, this guy! I can just leave the cast. You know?
You can check the match history. It was like 12-1 or something.
All right, Cubby raising his ego on me once again as CLG Academy definitely raising the gold lead that they have accumulated so far in the first 16 minutes of the game. 9-3. Evil Geniuses poised around the bottom side of the map as the Dragon's coming up in the next 43 seconds. Triple looking and fishing for a charm here. But Skytech is waiting around. But between CLGA and SkyTech, they don't do that much damage. They would need someone else to really come and assist, make sure the dive is clean.
Surdy will not get baited in by Doklo this time around, as CLG using that second Herald to wrap up their good work they've already put into this mid-outer turret. This will fall in favor of CLG, as Cowrie, good wave clear on the Ziggs, but it's not going to be enough to deal with Shelly. And we'll see if Shelly is able to get, or Kelly, I should say, is able to get another crash. Will be denied, and now EGE, they actually have an angle.
Oh, SkyTech flank with Tomio. They're trying to lock down Prismo. A lot of damage comes down.
Breezy.
Prismo, will he burn down from the Skirmisher Saber? But Rosethorn already finds one reset onto the graves of Tomio. He's going to go down, though, to Heartbreaker. Oh, wait. He's still out. Surdy can't close the distance on him. He finds one on Doklo, but Rosethorn still manages to stay alive despite being on blinking health. And the rest of CLG, they're going to be able to collapse for this dragon. Cowrie, can he find someone here? Woo, there's a lot of damage. Breezy escapes by the skin of his teeth. The Comet does not connect, and CLG will pick up this third dragon, putting them at soul point.
And the reason that CLG were able to come out on top of that fight, it was Breezy. That grand entrance with the charm, that saved what was a good collapse from EG and a nice setup. Despite them being down so much gold, that was a good look from EG that almost got the fight in their favor, but it's still a 2-for-1, and EG aren't able to get that dragon. It goes over to CLG, but it was a good attempt and a good setup from them.
Beautiful thing about Rakan Cubby is that, yes, quickness grand entrance is a great way to start off a fight, but the quickness itself, it's a charm on anyone that you make contact with. And for evil geniuses who are all trying to dive into your backline, It's a way to stall out a fight for your carries to get out alive.
I think importantly enough for Prismal now. Did survive that fight, had to burn some summoner spells, but now has that Phantom Dancer, which synergizes so well with Tristana's kit. Of course, being very auto-attack heavy. Some extra range with her already elusive rocket jump, buster shot. Tough champion to get on top of. And we saw some of the struggles that EG will have as this game moves forward, making sure they take down that Tristana, even despite the good setup they had as EG. It was a valiant attempt for them to get back in this game, and all their hopes really lie on Surdy on this Camille, who has been picking up a couple kills and is trying to get EG back in this one. But CLG is not slowing down anytime soon, as now CLGA.
CLGA dodges out on the charm and almost everything, but Breezy is going to make sure that CLGA has to burn something else. It's going to be the Flash as his reward. Surdy was splitting on the other side of the map, got some objective bounty gold back into the pockets of evil geniuses, but they are still down 7,000 gold, so it's quite the uphill battle they are facing.
Not all bad for the side of EG. Objective bounty technically means that they trade up, and who cares about that top ender turret? I sure don't. It is more gold in the pockets of CLG, but at least EG were able to trade something out, and I have to see. They have taken control over this bot side jungle. Surdy's sticking around. They could catch Rosethorn.
Oh, he doesn't know. Hextech ultimatum right under Rosethorn, but Breezy comes sailing on through. Quickness grand entrance, and they turn it right back around. Rosethorn is now on the Camille. He hook shots in. Heartbreaker follow up. Prismal is just ripping through every single member of Evil Geniuses. They're all going down to a very burning crisp, and CLG Academy wiped down 4.
Oh, the setup, the idea from EG, it was there, but the engage from SkyTech and Surdy just not quite on the same page, as they weren't able to get that first kill, and the resets from Rosethorn's Viego shreds EG as CLG staying on schedule. Baron spawns at 20 minutes. They're looking to take it for themselves here as CLG, man, cannot say enough good things about this team, as we're about to come out of our first round robin. They've only dropped 4 games so far this season, Rafa, as Surdy still trying to play hero.
No Hextech ultimatum available, so Triple is just a simple Spirit Rush to disengage from that one. Baron secured. Cubby, we look at this Baron take, and we're thinking, God,
hold on.
It's just off the back of this fight that we're looking on the replay. But for CLG, it's just another day at the office.
Had the hook shot from Camille. I think they were worried that Rosethorn was going to check the brush with something. And instead, the W away from Rosethorn, the fact he was able to buffer and sneak that in, enabled him to dodge out on the Zenith Blade from SkyTech. As we return to live, you can see EG. They're going for a couple cheesy angles, which, to be fair, they need to do.
I like it.
They need a miracle.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about this series so far, even though Evil Geniuses lost out in game 1 and they're in a very, very detrimental spot in this second game, they're not letting the game collapse passively. They're actively trying to find ways back into it. If it falls flat on their face, that sucks, but I'd rather this team, who is still a developing team with many developmental pieces and new members to this roster, are still trying and making attempts at coming back into the game than just giving up and saying, damn, I guess we lost, go next.
Yeah, if EG is going next, they're going to have 5 people gray screened before they decide to go to the next game. Something that you can always count on EG for, and something we like to see in Academy. Players throwing down, no quitting in these teams in EG.
Absolutely.
Have one more chance to show that they aren't going to quit in this game, as it is a humongous uphill battle. And CLG, man, I cannot say enough good things about this org. Keep in mind, this is a team that, as an Academy squad, now it was a completely different staff and 5 different players, but they failed to make Proving Grounds last summer. The turnaround from this team to now be solidified at the top of our standings after our first Academy round robin. Humongous props go to the GM, Jonathan, Juves at the coaching staff, and all the players for CLG. As they're just looking to put the finishing touches on this game, and this Ocean Soul will certainly be the first step in helping them do that.
10th place finish in both Academy spring and summer. And then, like you said, they lost to Supernova. Supernova, one of our
They didn't even make Proving Grounds themselves. Oh, no, they did, as the last seed.
Yeah. Supernova basically took the spot of CLG Academy as the last seed going into the Proving Grounds tournament. One of the longest-standing amateur teams taking CLG Academy spot at Proving Grounds, which we had just assumed that all Academy teams would make an appearance at. CLG didn't, but now they are currently rocking the top of the Academy standings in this spring split as we are coming to a close on our first round robin.
I think it just speaks to the turnaround that CLG had. I know that as an organization last year, I mean, it was 10th across the board. CLG wanted to turn that around, and Academy's roster helping them do that. As here comes the collapse, and Dokla looking for Tomio.
Hallowed Mist is a nice way to mitigate a lot of damage from Tomio from afar. Mega Inferno Bomb does some work. Oh, that's a lot of damage on the Dokla. Pops the Stasis in the Zhonya's Hourglass to make sure that he's alive for now. But he gets burned down by the rest of Evil Geniuses. But it's Rosethorn and Prismal who is now rocket jumping forward past the turret into the base, looking for more cleanup crew. Prismal, another rocket jump reset. Rosethorn, very squishy on this Ziggs that he has taken the soul of, but says, you know what? We have a satchel charge that I can just blow up the mid inhibitor turret with. Throws out the crab emote. How they have turned the tables in this siege. And now an open and exposed inhibitor on the bottom side of the map forces Tomio to recall, tries to defend it, takes a face full of an explosive bomb charge, and the rest of CLG Academy will make their leave.
CLG. On another valiant effort from the side of EG, trying to use all the tools they can and potentially a 30 TP. I think that's why they're trying to chase the members of the jungle, but too much. Ocean Soul topping off the members of CLG is looking to top off the rest of this game. Good replay. And once again, Galio Camille, it is a lethal combo. I mean, they were down 10k gold, and they were still able to at least find somewhat of an angle, as it is a big combo from Kaori. And Soligo was able to follow up on this really nicely.
The fact that Prismal is just free-firing in between the pockets of Evil Geniuses sideline and CLGs, but Kaori cannot step up and threaten Prismal in a 1v1 because he's playing Ziggs. He's looking for burst, whereas Prismal can easily outmatch that in the consistent damage he's putting out.
Still fully expect this game to be going over to the side of CLG. Frankly, you know, I would usually be asking Rafa what he had for lunch, but that's we're trying to avoid that and celebrate some of what's been going on in our first round robin. As Surdy looking to at least contest this mid lane, but Breezy's here.
Well, I'll tell you what CLG Academy are having for lunch. They're having Surdy fried up, but just as I say that, the lunch is on the run, and Prismal says, no, I want that meal served right here, right now, on a silver platter. They take up Skytech, and now the rest of Evil Geniuses are scattered. They're being pushed into the very dangers of this bush. Kaori popping the teleport. He might get out alive. I can't say the same thing about Surdy, though. Hookshot will connect. He's He's making this very,
Oh, no, the
very
TP.
denied. Wait, so Ligo's here as well, and Dokla's cutting him off with the teleport of his own. Surdy is doing the best that he can to survive as long
Surdy
as he
got out.
can. CLG Academy, they're getting their work cut out for it. They're definitely getting a hell of a cardio
he
run
get
in
out.
as they're traversing across the entire rift, but eventually they lock down Surdy. Eventually, CLG Academy push in this minion wave and will take a dominating 2-0 sweep over Evil Geniuses.
And what a conclusion to the first round robin for the side of CLG, as they dropped one series to 100 Thieves, they dropped one game to C9 and GG, and no one else was able to topple this team as CLG solidify themselves at the top of our standings to move into the second round robin.
You hear that, Kabim? That is the sound of the challengers that CLG Academy have to go up against, which is, right now, nothing. It seems like no one can stand up to the mantle of CLG Academy, save for a couple teams. 100 Thieves Academy, as you already mentioned, being one of the teams that took a full series off of. And then, of course, Cloud9 Academy managed to take one game.
With the subs, the first game of the season.
With the subs, too.
Mm-hmm.
Very interestingly enough. But CLG Academy, they are on a dominating tear right now. Their identity not only has been pretty much solidified, but their adaptability, and I'm going to go back to a word that you used in game one, their conviction to not let a game be decided by the opponents. They will be the ones that will determine their fate. If they are the ones that end up losing the game, they will go down dying to defend that turret and the base from going down. So I have nothing but absolute praise and astonishment for the turnaround of this org, as you already mentioned before, and just really excited to see how the second half of the season turns out for this team and for the rest of the competition that have to find a consistent answer and being able to match them.
Yeah. And in a meta that is evolving in Academy, that, and in NA for that matter, that revolves around these enchantress mids, empowering junglers, and getting to stages of the game where, you know, you are able to stall it out, have a scaling lead, and have an item advantage where you cannot lose the game. CLG is not letting any team get to that point, as they're not letting any team get past the 15-minute mark. So whoever wants to challenge CLG and Academy, these guys have to step up their early game across the board, because CLG, they're setting the blueprint on how to play out the first 15 minutes of the game, how to get a lead that you cannot topple. And CLG, they've yet to topple, as only 100 Thieves have bested them in that best of two. And CLG, they've been the ones that have been dominating every other part of the season. And we're going to have to see in the second round robin if any team can start to step up their early game to match CLG and match their play.
Of course, and we'll be stepping away to recharge our batteries and getting ready for our second series of the day. But first, when we come back, it's going to be a quick interview from Kangas with one of our winning players of CLG Academy.
just nothing. Ooh, what are you? People talk loud, I get what they're telling me. I fucked up, I didn't give a fit. Ooh, what a true. Hey, I gotta say, something's going wrong, and everything's upside down. I'm falling. Hey, I gotta say, I'm always on a run. I'm getting closer to the light. By the time I'm changing my remedy, blowing up, I get sick and tired of this. What a truth. No one talk now. I'm feeling lost on this. Silence is loud.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm here with CLG Academy's victorious jungler, Rose Thorn, after an incredible performance in that series, and now closing out the first round robin halfway through the Academy season at a 14-4 record. Very impressive from the Academy squad over at CLG. So, Rose Thorn, I want to get your first thoughts on how you would rate the team's performance. Has this been living up to expectations coming into the year, or has the team just found us a groove and is overperforming?
Yeah, I think we all came in with pretty high expectations, like for ourselves individually and as a team. But yeah, I definitely didn't expect us to, I guess, mesh so well early on, especially since our mid laner triple came like so late. But yeah, we're just gonna keep working hard to maintain it and like improve
Yeah.
even further.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the different mid laners you've had three now, right? Palafox and then Demonte and now Triple in. But it's incredible that you've still been able to perform this well despite that. But now about personally, how would you rate your own performance as a jungler, as an individual player?
I think I've been playing pretty well individually in a lot of the games, and there are some of them where I'm still like not playing as well, where I know that I can do better. And I think that's also reflected in like my practice as well, where sometimes I'm just like not playing well individually, and that'll impact like the rest of us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to minimize that as much as I can and become more consistent so that I can maintain like a high level for as long as possible.
Well, I will say, from a viewer's perspective, your performance has been absolutely impressive. So keep up the good work, man. Now, this is the end of the first round robin. You've played every team in a best of two. In your opinion, who's been the biggest challenge so far for CLG to tackle?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I mean, we did lose to 100 Thieves 0-2, but I think we did play like not too bad on that day. Or like it wasn't really reflective. Like our score was not reflective of how like we did against them.
Sure.
At least that's what I think. I don't know. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think we're
All
just
right, well,
a step above like every team at the moment. So
it does feel like that. And maybe that's more of a conversation to have with the coach. You know, that's his problem, right? Don't worry about who the biggest
yeah, exactly.
threats are. Now, again, it is halfway through the season, so I'm curious to get your thoughts, Rose Thorn, how the team's been driving, and if you have any favorite memories so far with the team yet.
I don't think there's any like memory that like stands out, but I do like when we were like just going out and just chilling with the boys and like the coaches. I think our coaches Juves and Mash are like just really funny overall, and they've been pretty close and they work really hard together as well. So just hanging out with them is just a good time overall.
Where's your favorite place to hang out at? You have like a restaurant or a location you go to?
Oh no, most of the time it's just like we're just chilling in the office, just like I don't know, like having some snacks or like playing ping pong. But yeah,
Ooh.
we're probably
Who's the
gonna
best ping
go
pong
out to
player
eat
on the
tonight,
team?
so we'll have to figure out on the team. I'm not too sure. I know that Triple plays a little bit, but I haven't actually seen how much he's played. So maybe it's between him or Juves, our coach. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay, a little bit of coach rivalry with the player right there. Well, if you do have any kind of internal ping pong tournaments, make sure you record that. We'd love to see that on socials at some point. But Rose Thorn, any
Yeah, I'll
messages
keep
that
that
you
in
have
mind.
for the fans out there that are cheering CLG on in this very impressive beginning to the season?
yeah, just thank you for watching and for supporting us. We're gonna just keep trying to go even stronger so that we can win even more games and try like new spicy picks. And yeah, we're just gonna all improve as much as we can because we're not gonna stop here.
I like that. Spicy picks. Keep them coming, man. It makes it entertaining for us. Thank you so much, Rosethorn, and best of luck going into a whole new round robin starting next week.